Hi, welcome back to the chat with Tanya. I'm your host, Shalom Tanya, and this is a safe space where we talk about anything and everything. We don't gossip here, we talk for growth, we talk to become the best versions of ourselves in Christ Jesus. I'm a Christian, and Christianity for me is not a religion. Christianity is my life. Christianity is my way of being. Christianity is my culture. It's everything. So there's nothing that will be discussed here that wouldn't be linked back to that. Okay. Today's topic is very interesting. I had a very strange experience recently. It's not very strange. It's just been a while since I had that kind of emotional outburst and had to recover in such a long time. I had a problem with a long time, not so long. A friend of mine we've been friends for 2 years now. We had some issues. We discussed them, we moved forward. But I didn't realize that I hadn't moved forward. Or I realized it, but I wasn't acknowledging my feelings. To worsen the situation, that mentor that I had spoken about in the previous episode didn't help matters in her interpretation of what was going on. And I learned something. When you have problems with someone, sometimes third parties ruin the situation. I went to this person as a neutral party, but due to some other things that I'm not, because it was a very complicated situation and a lot of things happened which caused me to doubt my friend. Present day, I'm still struggling to trust this friend of mine. And so we were having a conversation. It was a very simple conversation. And something happened that triggered me. And I responded very violently to the situation. And now, because of the lack of trust in our friendship, I had become very combative with this person. Instead of going to them and saying, "Hi, this happened and it caused me to feel this way," I would just state that something happened. But I would come prepared for war, and in my bid to protect myself and defend myself from this person, I would attack them. I would not even go into the issue. I would just go straight into attack. And so I attack, and the natural response when you're attacked is to defend yourself. You get on the offense and you attack back, right? So we would have blowouts and heated exchange, and it was just a lot. It's always a lot. Many times this person wasn't even attacking me. They were just trying to understand the situation. But I would be so engulfed in, "You're trying to hurt me," that I would be blinded by my rage and hurt and everything. And I'll just continuously attack. And so I had a very violent emotional outburst. I reacted so badly. I was so violent. It was crazy. I was crying. I felt like I was going mad. It was just a lot. I almost smashed something that they had given me. It was crazy. It was a lot. It was exhausting. Only to calm down and realize that I had a problem. That I had been traumatized by certain things. things that the person had done, yes. Things that I was told by my supposed mentor. Things that I was told by third parties. Things that I had experienced in my life before meeting and becoming friends with this person. Things that I had experienced in a friendship. Well, it's an ex-friend now, so an ex-friend. Things that I had experienced with my ex-friend. I didn't realize how all these things came together, and I was deeply traumatized, and I have post-traumatic stress disorder. And so when it feels like something that deeply traumatized me that I haven't healed from is about to happen again, I react vehemently to that situation, and I'm so violent, and it's like, even though my friend had apologized, still apologizes and does the best that they can do to make the friendship work. I found that I have not healed. So today, I started watching this Psych 2 videos. I used to watch them and watch a bunch of videos and just use it to therapize myself. And I realized, I have so many emotional wounds that I am yet to heal from. I felt so troubled, with everything that happened. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm a psychologically troubled person. Like, there's so much going on. And really, there is so much going on. I'm deeply traumatized. But it's one thing to know that you're deeply traumatized. It's another thing to take active steps to move forward. A lot of us who come to the realization of how traumatized we are, we do nothing about it. We sit down and we just do nothing. And I found that because of how traumatized I was and because of my nurturing and upbringing, my attachment style was very disruptive, but also very avoidant, right? So avoidant and disruptive at the same time. And I found that I would switch from being dismissive avoidant sometimes to being fearful avoidant to just being a disruptive person, and I would push people away. But at the same time, I was craving, and I still crave, intimacy and closeness. But because of past wounds, because of things that had happened rather, and because of this new mentor, finally, someone I met and I trusted, and just, because of all that, I started pushing people away. Because with each traumatic experience, we enter into our shells. We learn to trust less. We become more suspicious of people. And so, oftentimes, deeply traumatized people who are yet to heal are incredibly suspicious of the whole world. You think people are out to get you. It depends on the kind of trauma that you have. Now, I have experienced a wide range of things. I've spoken about some of them here because I'm pastor's child. The trauma that comes from being shamed, publicly ridiculed for making mistakes that if any other person made, it would be okay, but the pastor's child did that. The trauma that comes from expectations. You grow up literally with so much expectations, and being an ada didn't help matters. The expectations from the house, expectations from outside, not feeling safe anywhere. Gosh, I have experienced so much in my little life. And a lot of those things I have not healed from, because some of them I am still experiencing them. Some of them I am still living in that thing. There's no escape for me. And when I try to move forward, I take one step forward and then I move backwards. So all these things have me deeply traumatized. And I'm in a point where I look at people and I'm suspicious of everyone, afraid of who's trying to come in to hurt me. I have friends, I can't even be comfortable with them because my mind is just working round the clock, wondering, will this person betray me? Is this person trying to do this or do that and do that? And it's exhausting emotionally for me. It's also exhausting for the people who genuinely care. And so I found myself in this cycle once more, and my innocent friend paid dearly for it. The worst part about the situation is this happened at a time where my friend was dealing with something very deep and sensitive. And I was aware of this thing, and I couldn't control my emotions. I just flared up. Boom. Like a bomb, ticking bomb waiting to explode. I exploded. Boom. And it was crazy. And it has taken me so much time to recover. I haven't even recovered. I haven't. I'm very exhausted. I'm very tired. I'm drained. After that explosion, I used to have ulcer. I think I still have ulcer. That place hurts. My chest hurts. My head hurts. I've just been so drained. And even to record the podcast has been a lot. And I find that I'm now back in my frozen castle like Elsa, and I've pushed everyone away. See, the interesting thing about Frozen is Elsa's in that castle. She can't hurt anyone, right? I think Elsa's ice powers and her not being able to control them was metaphoric for having emotional wounds and traumas and not being able to control them and just exploding, right? And hurting people around you. There's guilt that comes with that, right? And we see Elsa feeling so guilty for putting Anna at risk. And so you withdraw from the world because you don't want to hurt anyone else, right? But the people who love you don't understand why you're withdrawing, right? Not just that. Growing up without that sense of safety, you get used to being very independent. For me, there's this hyper independence thing going on that close relationships, intimacy, and attachments just feel so they feel unsafe. It feels like you're about to get into a really dangerous situation, or you're allowing yourself to be in a dangerous place where you can be hurt. And so what avoidant people do is they get close but quickly withdraw and just push everyone away. And that's what Elsa was doing. And now I find myself pushing everyone away and retreating to my frozen castle where no one can see me, where no one can harm me. You know what's so sad? Is you feel relieved emotionally because no one is so close. You get a false sense of I'm good, but then you realize you're not good. You realize you miss people. You realize you want people around you. But your attachment style is so weird because you want people around you, but you don't want them around you. You want people around you, there's fear of hurting them. You want people around you, but you crave your alone time and your aloneness, and just getting into close friendships feels like you're losing your independence, and so you push everyone away. Realize when things get really bad and you look around you, you've pushed everyone away and you're all by yourself. And so now I'm here, very conflicted, wondering, what do I do? God has blessed me with sincere friends who genuinely love me. And some of them you would hear from in later episodes in this podcast, both in this season and in future seasons. I've lost some friends, because of my immaturity. I've lost friendships because I was a toxic person. But now, what am I doing with the present one? The present people that I have, what am I doing with them? Instead, I'm in my frozen castle, afraid of coming out to interact with the world. It's a very crazy experience. I'm not going to tell you that I have all the solutions, because presently I'm wondering what to do. But I'm determined, like I said, to grow. And so I'm going to go back to God, because this is even affecting my relationship with God. I have a push and pull relationship with God, where once it feels like I'm getting too close, I disappear and run away. And it translates to how I am with everyone, right? But I'm determined to grow. And so I'm going to go back to God and talk to Him, because I'm really tired, really exhausted. So I'm going to go to Him and I'm going to have that talk. My friend and I are working through, things, and my friend is really doing their best to make me feel safe. But I also need to make my friend feel safe. And so I'm navigating what it means to make other people feel safe. Before you can make people feel safe, you have to be safe yourself. You have to feel safe yourself. And I have come to the realization, I came to this realization a long time ago, but I'm done running away from I don't feel safe, and I'm trying to distract myself and drown the pain with different things. I have to face the pain. I have to accept that I am a bad person in some people's stories, and that's my doing because of my actions and inactions. And I have to be determined to be a better person, because the goal is to be the glory, not just to reflect the glory, not just to reflect the image, but to become the image. I'm not even reflecting the image, let alone becoming it. But all hope is not lost, because these actualizations are a gift, because not many people come to these realizations. So the fact that I have come to these realizations and I can recognize what the problem is, that's a gift. But what to do with the gift is what I'm figuring out. I hope you also can come to the realization of the demons that are chasing you, the things that are tormenting you. Because it's not just psychological things and emotional wounds. There's stuff from, if you were raped, if you were verbally abused, if you were mentally abused, if you experience financial abuse, if you experience physical abuse, there's also spiritual things running in our bloodlines. So we have to decide to break generational curses. And we cannot do this by ourselves. We need a support group. We need family. Family is not only your blood relations. Family is actually who you choose. They're brothers that are closer than kin. And I'm figuring out what that looks like for me with the people around me, and going back to the blueprint, the Bible, and to my Maker, Jesus Christ. See you guys next week on the chat with Tanya.